Hey everybody, welcome to, what day is it? It's Thursday. Yes, had jury duty the other day, so Ray thankfully filled in. Thank you, Ray. And here we go on Thursday, chunking our way into this wonderful month of November. Weather's cooling off, all that kind of fun stuff. But let's start with some headlines, shall we? Here we go. When you realize the last day of 2023 will be 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it is kind of weird. I didn't even think about that, but yep, that's true. It's 12, 31, 23. Weird. Anyway, moving on. Hear Me Out. The Singles soundtrack is the best grunge album of all time. Singles being a movie that came out in the 90s that was a really good movie. Well, it was a pretty good movie. It wasn't the greatest movie, but it was a good movie. The album, though, I hear you. This is a good album. It has some quintessential and great grunge songs on it from the founding groups of grunge. However, there's some stinkers on this album that doesn't, for me, do it for the grunge album of all time. I don't think so. There's a couple flops on there that I'm not a fan of, and I don't think they qualify as grunge. Anyway, moving on. 400 earthquakes recorded under Mount St. Helens since mid-July. Well, since it's almost mid-November, that's like 100 earthquakes a month. That's pretty crazy. Time to steer clear of Mount St. Helens for a little bit. Actually, probably just a little gas rumbly in the tummy kind of thing, but hey, it's a volcano. It's still active. All right, so that's it for the headlines. Nice job, everybody. Thank you for participating. But what is Thanksgiving all about? It's really about being thankful for a lot of stuff, but the holiday is surrounded by our love of food, and so we got to talk about that. We gotta talk about the food, yes. And a weird thing about Thanksgiving that I did not know, but Thanksgiving is actually the reason why, the holiday is the reason why there's TV dinners. Interesting, yes, TV dinners were born out of Thanksgiving. And here's what happened. So in 1953, a Swanson's employee, Swanson, one of the biggest packaged food makers, a Swanson employee accidentally ordered way too much turkey, 260 tons too much turkey. The frozen turkeys were all being taking up space in 10 refrigerated train cars. 10 train cars. That's a lot. I mean, that's a lot by today's standards. So one of the company's salesmen came up with this idea. Hey, why don't we take these turkeys, we'll cook them, and then we'll put them in these aluminum trays with little pockets in them, and we'll put some side dishes in there. Little gravy, little mashed potatoes, little green beans, just make a little meal out of it in aluminum trays. We'll seal them up and we'll sell them. Of course, the salesman comes up with an idea like that, but they did it, and they sold that year in 1953. They sold 5,000 TV dinners. 5,000. That's a lot. Then just coming up with the idea, boom, make it, produce it, sell them, 5,000, that's a lot. But it was so popular that the next year, 1954, they went from selling 5,000 to 10 million. 10 million, 5,000 to 10 million. That company that doesn't happen. That's pretty dang impressive. And thus the TV dinner was born thanks to a need in Thanksgiving, and hence, we've got all our Hungry Man dinners and all that kind of stuff, and it's really blossomed into quite a whole entire food industry, which is the pre-prepared, throw it in the oven or microwave foods. Now, many of you here did not grow up on TV dinners like some of us staff did. TV dinners were a really big deal. It was like a treat, man. You had a TV dinner, that was a treat. And it was some good eating, too. So, anyway, yeah, thanks to the Thanksgiving. Be thankful to Thanksgiving for having the pre-prepared food. Someone would have thought of it eventually, but pretty cool. Anyway, so who knew? Moving right along. Here's the thing about food, though, and starting to think that, Thanksgiving is next week. So we got to start thinking. We got to start doing some shopping while the deals are hot. So you get those paper deals in the mail. You get the newspaper or the paper ads for your different grocery stores. Go through those and find your deals, find the things you want. Now's the time to do it because the deals are on for some of the things that you need for your Thanksgiving dinner. Now, maybe you're not having a big one. Maybe you're having a TV dinner. That's okay. But now's the time to check those deals because the deals are starting to come out. They want to move that product before the holiday so they're not stuck with it after the holiday. So be sure to check those ads. If you don't get the ads in the mail, you can still get the ads. Go into the grocery store and they have a little newsstand somewhere and all the ads are in it. Grab one and just start walking the store finding them. All right, so let's move right along. It is Thursday and cool stuff going on around the building and whatnot. Learning cool stuff. We got our next Wednesday is our Pirate Job Fair, Pirate Pilgrim Job Fair. Yes, next Wednesday. So excited about that. It's going to be cool. But for now, we got to just, we got to check out what the national day is right here with Gabrielle.
Good morning, everybody. It's Thursday. Down the slope we go. It is the 9th of November. Got it right today. It is November. And let's see, so far I've done a national day, an international day. Now, I don't know what the difference is, and I'll have to look these up because I don't know. But it's world. So, international, no, I get it. So, the entire frickin' world, people, today. World Freedom Day. I thought that one was pretty exciting, so I had to look it up. What does it mean? Well, it is when the Berlin Wall fell.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
Some of you might be too young to know there used to be a wall between East and West Germany. Half of it was communist side, the other half was real people side. Not that communists aren't real people, but that's another history lesson in itself. But it commemorates, yeah, there we go, the fall of the wall. Now you can move freely between East and West, and it's not called that anymore, right? It's Germany, East and West. But it used to be. You had the one side that was the communist side, and they stood for everything that kind of the Russians did, and then you had the other side that were, part of the rest of the world that were, Americanized, and the rest of Europe that wasn't communist. And then the wall came down. It was a very exciting time. And now a lot of you just don't even know what it was like when it happened. And the wall went up, around World War II time, and it was all kind of crazy back then. And now you can move around pretty freely there. So it's a world day. World freedom. Freedom from the Berlin Wall coming down. So everybody have a great day.
Very nice indeed. Cool stuff. Now we're going to go back into the bearded past with Zach.
Hey everybody, how we doing? It's Thursday the 9th. Thursday the 9th of November. We're going to go back in the bearded past with Zach. Today in history, 1620, those pilgrims, they actually board the Mayflower. The pilgrims actually, they sight land at Cape Cod, Massachusetts. Just so you know, when they sighted the land at Cape Cod, they didn't originally stay there. They actually sailed a little bit further south to look for something else. And then they actually went back up there, just so you guys are understanding of that. But, hey, here they are. They finally made it to land, right? Also, too, we have in 1862, in the American Civil War, Union General Ambrose Burnside. Those of you who don't know, Ambrose Burnside, he had some amazing chops. And there we go. That's kind of where your sideburns comes from. Assumes command of the Army of the Potomac after George B. McClellan is removed. Lincoln and George B. McClellan never really got along. They called George B. McClellan Little Napoleon. They didn't get along very well. George McClellan's problem was he loved his army so much he wouldn't sacrifice his army. So he never really truly engaged in any battles of significance because he was too afraid to put his men in. He was too afraid to do the job that they needed to do. Now, Ambrose Burnside, on the other hand, was a fool and eventually led to a slaughterhouse at Antietam, and he was removed from command, within this year, actually. Also, 1872, we had the Great Boston Fire. Russia completes its occupation of Manchuria with 100,000 troops in 1900. 1887, the United States receives rights to Pearl Harbor, which of course became a naval base. And then Theodore Roosevelt, and the first sitting president of the United States to make an official trip outside the country, doing so to inspect progress of the Panama Canal. That's pretty impressive. So he went outside the country. First president, 1906. And the last thing I'm going to leave with today is the Great Storm of 1913. It was the most destructive natural disaster ever to hit the lakes. It reaches its greatest intensity after beginning 2 days earlier. The storm actually destroyed 19 ships, and it actually ended up killing over 250 people. I'd have to do some research, but there's a lot of recorded temperature history. And I think 1913, up there in that area, a lot of their record highs were set that year. So, very interesting. And you know, guys, just so you know, I bring up a lot of older history. And there's a reason for that. Because if you go and look at newer history from about the years 1995 to 2000, it's all about suicide bombers and somebody getting killed. That's what our history is today. History, to me, you know, it's about making something. It's about something that changed this world, right? Right now, it's just about a bunch of crazy fanatics out there just doing whatever they do. All right, guys, take care. Have a good one.
All right, guys, that is it for Thursday. Clayton, somebody's going to do some really cool cooking today, 1 o'clock, YouTube Live. Don't miss out. Cool stuff. Typically Thanksgiving related, some of the side dishes. And I tell you what, those potatoes that Clayton made a couple weeks ago, holy wow, those are really good. I seriously ate way too many of those, but they were so good. So nice job on that. You want to see what those were, those deep fried potato balls or whatever you want to call them. You can go back to the YouTube channel. They're still there. You can go back and find those and try and recreate them yourself. I might do that myself. Maybe. Maybe I'll just ask Clayton to make some and bring some in. Anyway, have a great Thursday, everybody. We'll see you YouTube Live 1 o'clock for the Calamity Cooking Workshop. Otherwise, we'll see you tomorrow, Friday, on the morning routine. Take care.